Hey once again, welcome to the PHP 101 Screencast with me, Phil, from BHP Web Design. Today, I decided to give you a Hello World tutorial. I've realised that my previous tutorials kind of assume that you know what PHP is to a reasonable extent for you to be able to tackle them. Well, my tutorial today is literally going to be kind of taking it from scratch. Okay, so to start off with, I have pretty close to a blank PHP file running on a local server. It's just got, if I view the source on it, it's just got a little bit of HTML code in, a page wrap, and a CSS file. Okay, now if I go and actually open up this PHP file, and today I'm going to use Sublime Text 2 by the way, I'm going to pre-warn you, it is an unregistered version, I'm still meaning to pay for it, so I may get a pop-up at some time during the tutorial, in which case I'm very sorry if that happens. Right, so we have a PHP page, a file called index.php. As you can see, it is just simple plain HTML in there, no special PHP available. Now if I wanted to, I could put in hello world by just using straightforward HTML, like so. Save that and then refresh, and it comes up with hello world. Now, a PHP page or script, you can make it as intelligent or as complex as you want, or as simple and or dumb as you want. You know, if you wanted to, you could make an entire static page that had no PHP in it whatsoever and store it in a .php file extension. But let's just say you wanted this hello world to be generated by the PHP. That is very simple to do. Okay. First thing we need to do is we would need to put in the PHP tags. Okay, so that's looks like this. And there are the opening and closing PHP tags. Now, those people who are reasonably new to web design um, or web development, anything in developing anything in code, you need to put inside tags. So to tell the browser what it is. So HTML tags tells a web browser or web client, here's some HTML, process it, chew it up, do what you got to do to make it display the page properly. Okay. Now what a PHP tag will do is it will tell the server, well, hang on a minute, before you send this page, you need to do something. Okay. Whether it be getting polling for some information, making some calculations, whatever. It'll say do this first, process it, spit out a result, and then send the HTML. So also it's important to bear in mind that PHP goes in order of how it's written. So for example, in a moment we're going to be putting some strings in around the place to echo out this, to display this hello world. We couldn't specify what the string means down here. It needs to be specified beforehand, otherwise the script will be like, don't know what this is, and freaks out. So, let's go into the string. So to start a string, you have to put a dollar sign. This tells PHP, here's a string variable. This is going to hold some information. And you need to give it a name so you can call it whenever you want to. So let's just call it hello. And then we need to give it the value of hello world. Now it's important you don't do this. If you do that, it will mess up your PHP script. Okay? If you just put in some raw text or content in, you must put it inside single quotation marks like so. And at the end of the line, a semicolon. Now, we have told PHP to remember this content, which is hello world, under the name of hello. And now it's going to memorize that. And it knows whenever you say this string hello or $ hello, you don't actually mean $ hello, you actually mean hello world. Okay? Now the semicolon at the end is telling PHP as well, this is the end of the line. Now if you wanted to, you could write a very long complex PHP script all on one line. It's not advised because it's very incredibly hard to debug. Okay, but you could if you want to, as long as you put semicolons in the right place. Right. So now we've told PHP to remember this content, it's time to use it and display it. Well, now, where do we want to display it? Well, in this case, let's display it in the title, and we'll also display it on the page. Okay. So the way we do this is we go into the title tags. We'll open up a new PHP tag, and then close it again. And in between that, we'll use a function called echo, and then put in string hello, a semicolon. So now what we're telling PHP to do is memorize hello world under the name of hello, and then here we're saying, okay, you remember that thing that was under the name of hello? Well, echo it out to the screen, display it to the screen, churn it out, okay, to the client. So let's do it down here as well. Echo string hello, and we'll save that. And we're doing the same down here. Okay, so now if I go back to the page and refresh, you'll see here it comes up with hello world, and so it does appear as well. Now if we view the source of this page, you'll see all it says is hello world. It does not display to the visitor any of this stuff. Anything that's in between the PHP tags, it doesn't really show. It doesn't show anything it's not meant to, okay? What it is doing is dynamically creating the HTML page. So just to show how this can be dynamic, let's just change world to John, and we'll save that again. Now if I refresh the page, you'll see world has changed to John. Now if this was just a straightforward HTML page, then we would have to have gone here and changed world to John, and then down here change world to John. But because we're using PHP, we changed it in one place, and it's replicated itself throughout the page. Now, you don't just have to use a specific value, okay? You could, if you wanted to, do arithmetic, right? This is where it gets fun. So, let's just get it to do a simple thing. Let's say to it, take 1 and plus 1, like so. Okay, now you may be expecting it to display on the screen 1 plus sign 1. But because we haven't put the numbers in single quotation marks, and we put that plus sign in there, we're actually telling it to do some maths. We're telling it to do this sum, okay? And then whenever we call, in this case it's still called string hello, it knows it's actually meant to display the answer. So if we go back to this, refresh, you'll see it comes out with 2. Obviously because 1 plus 1 equals 2. But let's make it a bit more complicated, and we'll go 1 plus 1 times by 99, and then save that again. And then we'll go back here and refresh that. That hasn't worked for some reason. Let me just figure that one out. I'm not quite sure why it's done that. some reason it's just making it 100. I know why. Because I'm just telling it to. I'm telling it to times 99 by 1. I'm not actually telling it to times the result. So let's just scrap that bit in a moment. And what we'll do is we'll change the name of this to H. And then I'll just do another string hello here. Just the same amount to change the name of the variable. And then what I'm going to do is go string H times by 99. Now, fingers crossed, this should work. There we go, it gives you the answer 198. Now what we tell it to do is take 1 and add 1 to it, which gives you the answer 2. Oh, so that gives you the answer of 2. Now here we're saying we want 2 times by 99, which gives you the answer of 198. You can see how that's working? And what we're saying it is as well is to display the answer here. And that's what happens. That is the basics of PHP. You can see the kind of what you can possibly start to do now. Okay. But let's make it a bit more dynamic. Let's think now. Let's use the get super global, which if you've seen one of my previous ones, previous screencasts, you may have heard of this. So let's go number and then times by 100. So we'll get rid of this H bit at the top here. Now what's going to happen is if I go to the page and refresh, it's going to turn around and go, I don't know what number is. So what I'm going to do is in the address bar, just put a question mark, number equals, I'm doing times by 100, so let's say 5. Now what it knows to do, because we've told it to do this, is by using this super global of get, it's looking in the address bar for the word number. It knows the word number is going to come after a question mark as well. So it looks for the question mark, and then it looks for the word number, which it finds here. Okay, and it then goes, right, what does number equal? Which in this case, it equals number 5. So it then goes and replaces this bit of code here with the number 5, and then it goes, oh okay, now I've got to times that by 100, and then displays out the answer in these two areas here. And that's how you can do some maths with PHP. You can dynamically create the pages. You can get it to replicate information as much as you want all over the place. Okay, and also you can pull stuff out the address bar. I do go into more detail about get and post superglobals in one of my other screencasts. I think it may have been screencast number 2. But have a look at my video feed or my iTunes feed and you'll find out which one it is. It should be titled there and it'll give you more detail. So, that's how we can do numbers. But what if we had different bits of information and wanted to amalgamate it together? Say, for example, we've got a database, and in that database, we're storing people's names. But of course, we'll separate them first and last, okay? But then they've come to the site, we've got the information, we want to say hello to them using their full name. Well, let's just make a string here, and I'm going to call it full name, and a string here, and I call that full name too, or full name as well, or full name too. And here I'm going to put string first name, and I said the first name is John, and then I'm going to make a string last name, and the last name is going to be Smith. Right, so we now have the first name and we have the last name. Now we could, if we wanted to, go through and type in here, instead of saying doing something fancy, we could just type in first name and then close the PHP space, open the PHP again, last name, blah blah blah. Why do that all the time when you can save yourself a lot of coding by being clever with variables? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new string called full name. Now, I've already said that I'm going to use the full name down here. So there we go. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say string first name. So I'm telling it to pull the first name from here, which is John, and place it in here. And then I'm going to put full stop there, and then go string last name. Like so, and then do a semicolon. And now what I'm telling it to do is, well, you know where we stored this information under the name first name? What information was that? Oh yeah, John. Put it here. And then here we're saying, well, the information stored under the title last name, which in this case is Smith, put it here. And so then when we go to the page and we'll refresh it, get rid of that bit in there, you'll see it come out with John Smith. Now you may spot there's a problem here. The problem is, it's made it all into one word. Of course, we wouldn't necessarily want that, but that is such an easy fix. And the way we do that is after this before or after the full stop, I'll make another full stop. Then between them, I'll put two single quotation marks. And in between them, I'm going to press spacebar once, like so. And then I'm going to press save. Oh, there comes the pop-up. I am going to pay for this at some point. Believe me, I am. Okay. Now if I go back to the script and refresh, here you go. You see it split the name in two. If I go and view the source now, you'll see all you're seeing is the pure HTML with the results injected into it. People have no idea necessarily that this is being created by PHP. I mean, they may have an idea, but they don't necessarily have to know, okay? But this shows you what you can do. Then what we can also do is, for example, let's declare that this is their first name. So we'll go first name is, a single quotation mark, space, stop. I'm just going to get rid of some of these spaces. Sometimes you'll find that you will have to put a space between the string and the full stop. Sometimes you don't. So let's play it safe and do it just in case. And then right, so I've put the first name is, and then it's what the first name. After space, I'm going to put a break tag in, so I can put in HTML here if I wanted to, with no issues. And then I'm going to say last name is, and then I'm going to save that. Go back here, and then I'm going to refresh the page. And there we go. First name is John, last name is Smith. Now you see up here, it's fortunately put the break tag in. That's just because of the way HTML works. If I go and refresh this though, you can see it has actually put the break tag in as we wanted it to. And that is a brief introduction to string variables. You can see where this could come in handy. It's ways of just storing data, storing information, storing content. So at any time you can pull it back pull it out and display it to the person, or use it in some other means. So in this case, as I said, we're storing their first name, we're storing their surname, and then just in this example, I'm putting those two together, so then we can display them just by typing that instead of having to type out lots of other complicated code. So that was my brief hello world introduction. I suggest that you go to, if I can pull it up, php.net, where you can find out a lot more about PHP or PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. Oh yeah, I'm glad I remembered that, even though it's written just up here, but I just realised it's written up there. But oh well. These are the guys that actually make PHP, and it's a long, hard read, but if you want to learn bits and pieces, things like, let's just type in the echo there. For example, there is a full-blown manual on what to do. Okay, and then also, if you have a bit of spare time, always make a point of checking out my site, which is bhwebdesign.com. When it loads, there we go. It is unfortunately still work in progress. I'm still building it at the moment, but in here you'll find templates I got for sale, my blog, which has some more tutorials and so on, links to my previous video screencasts, and links to a portfolio and ways to, and also contact forms so you can contact me and make requests in case there's any other else that you may wish to learn. But until next time, see you then. Bye bye.